Yeah, the story of the beginning of the band just seems so easy that there were three musicians, all of different origins. They met each other and then they started making some music, but it can't be so easy, no?
But the thing is, you want an anecdote because you want the narrative of a great story of how a great accident happened. But in reality, it's just all three of us. Actually, no, you didn't live in Brussels at the time.
I lived right outside.
Right outside. But we basically would just jam in Brussels with a lot of musicians. There used to be a lot of places you could play late at night, and so we just met through there. And there's a lot of foreigners in Brussels and a lot of musicians who happen to be foreigners. So it's not so strange. A lot of foreigners play music together in Brussels with Belgians or with people from all over the place. So it's really not unusual. It just seems that that people have really picked up on that with us. It's not that uncommon.
No. And yeah, the language issue. What language do you speak on a tour bus or when you're waiting for a performance? Is it just English?
It depends on if we're swearing or not, and it depends on how much we've been drinking. Ziggy tends to resort back to his native Swedish.
only after a whole lot of vodka.
I speak French all the time and no one understands me.
Yeah.
It's,
and French is a great language to curse and swear in too. You can really, really make people understand that you're angry when you insult them in French. So it's a good language for that.
Well, you've got already 3 albums, which is quite a lot, I think. But how does it come that in France and in the French-speaking part of Belgium you're really famous, but here in Flanders they don't know?
They don't know us so well.
Yeah.
It's quite simple, really. We're signed in Paris. Our record company is French, and all their channels, their media channels, or the people they go to the journalists they present our music to, is French. The French record labels they know Belgium exists, but they tend to not really get overly excited about Belgium. I probably shouldn't say that, but it's kind of true though. France is a big country. It's a very big market, so they tend to be very busy with that. So at the time when our second album came out, most of the media that we were being introduced by to people was French, Francophone media. And a lot of the Wallonians, the Francophones in Belgium, watch French television, read French newspapers, and listen to French radios. So naturally that sort of... And then when the Francophones realized that we actually lived in Brussels and that we're a Brussels-based band, so we're a Brussels band, even though none of us are actually Belgian, we're a Brussels band, then they kind of got excited and thought, well, if you guys are from here, then you must be cool. And then we started... So really that's why, and it took us a while to be able to create some kind of campaign in Flanders, because the media in Belgium, as you know, is divided. There's no national media. No. It's linguistic. It's so
it's separated.
So it meant that we'd have to start completely from scratch. When we started our media campaign, we started with nothing. So we'd have to start touring, and that's how we do it. We just go and play. Hopefully people like what we do, and then they get interested, and then journalists come and talk to us, and then gradually we spread the word.
Yeah, so I guess this is the first time here in Mechelen?
Yeah, eerste keer
in Mechelen.
And
have you seen our Grote Markt yet?
We haven't actually. We were about to, and then someone called us to go backstage to do interviews.
Sorry.
You interrupted us. On our visit to Mechelen, yeah.
Well, I hope you like it. But this year you could play on the main stage of Rock Werchter, but you had to cancel it. I can imagine that was a big disappointment.
The reason why we cancelled was the biggest disappointment, but it was something to do with my family, and so if anything, actually, the great irony was the fact that we were booked this year for Werchter allowed me to be somewhere I needed to be even more so. Had we not been booked this year for Werchter, I probably would have been in Switzerland or Holland or France, and I would not have been able to be back in Belgium when I was most needed here. So in a sense, but hopefully we'll get to play one day Rock Werchter, because it is a bit of a dream. Ever since we've been playing music, we wanted to play there, so maybe one day, we'll see.
Yeah, because I remember I was actually standing on a field of Rock Werchter, and then I saw, Puggy's cancelled, so it was also kind of a disappointment for me. But now about your gig tonight, what does the playlist look like? Are you going to play a lot of new songs, or kind of a mix of
I think
three
we have
albums?
to figure that out. I think our light guy is waiting for the set list right now, and he's like, where the hell are these guys? So we're gonna do a bit of a mix between older stuff and new stuff. Mainly, we're still sort of promoting the last record, so we'll probably play mainly songs from that record. But we tend to always add a couple of tracks from our older records as well.
Yeah, and is there one song of the new record you like the most?
It's probably. I mean, not really. You can't
don't
really.
like any of
No, exactly. Nah.
I don't like it.
No, but it's you can't. There's no way to answer a question like that because
Yeah.
like each song is you'll
Oh.
have a one night when one song is like magical to play and it's a really great experience, and then other nights it sort of doesn't really go that well. So it's really about the night more than the songs themselves. I mean, the songs are all very important to us.
Awesome.
They're all awesome.
Yeah, that's true. They're really awesome. And the last question. Seeing musicians that are completely drowned in their music, I think it's really beautiful. But I'm always wondering, what are they thinking when they're standing on a big stage like I mean Werchter or.
You don't want to know. You really don't want to get into a musician's brain while he's playing. It's a very strange and awkward place.
Is it stress or?
Thanks, Iggy. What a beautiful mic stand I have. It really varies. It depends. You can really get into. I'm going to try to make this short because otherwise you're going to have a great philosophical answer to your question. Music is what we do. It's what I've always done. It's always what I've had to do. It's my best means of expression. It helps me to not have to shout at people. I can say things through lyric and music. So you have to live it. It's very intense. And if it just becomes a day job and you're just going through the movements, I don't think you can hold. I mean, we've been touring 2 years on this record, and we'd literally come out of 3 years of the last record, and then we'd done 3 years on the first record. So we haven't stopped touring since we've started the band. So if you don't always go back to a place that is intense and live inside the music that you're performing, I think it can probably get very quickly very boring, and then you probably need to find another job. And it's a pretty cool job, so I'd rather not have to do that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.